So, guys, uh, today's video is going, today's gameplay or video is going to be about wars. Let me begin this one saying that words are pretty important if you want to win a game. Why? Because they give you information of where the other team is, or maybe if they are trying to gank you. Sorry, but you know, it's not about who you see with the word. Sometimes not seeing anyone can actually be a great deal of information. For example, if you have the whole jungle warded and the team is not there and they are not on any lane, they are basically doing two things. Either they're going Roshan or they are smoke ganking you. So you will know what to do. The scan will help you decide which one of those two is. So basically you need to use every tool that the game gives you in order to get a little bit more information about where the other team is. Basically what this is going to be, I set up a custom lobby so I can actually give you information of where you're supposed to place the wards. First thing, or the first rule, is to place the wards on the high ground. As you can see, these high grounds or high spots, they actually have an eye there. Can you see it right there? That's because they are basically designed for you to place wards. There are a couple of them. And you can easily use them just to make vision for your team. I'm going to use every single one of them. And as you can see, the difference between a ward on the lower ground and a ward in the high ground is enormous. For example, if we had a ward on the low ground here, it was going to be it's gonna give vision through here and through here. That's it. But now you basically have half of their jungle warded. So we're going to the other side of the map. There are a couple of high spots here too. First one is here. Then we have another one. Here, then we are going into our jungle. Mind you, you cannot do this because you can only have 4 wards during one game. I mean, maybe 5. But as you can see, we warded basically 90% of the map. Right here. And this place. So it's safe to say that there are a lot of information on the map. Another thing that I want to say is that's just the basic stuff, you know. Another thing you would really want to do is get some other wards, or because every time you put a ward on the high ground, it will give you a lot more information than a ward that is going to be placed on the low ground. But there is a small issue with this. These high spots or high grounds here are actually the most common place for you to place wards, and it's a very easy thing for the other team to deward. You know, that's the mostly their supports will check these high spots before they check everything else. So now I'm going to do this. Just a second, let me enter a console command. Sorry. And yeah, we're back to square one. There is another type of situational, let's say, wards. For example, you're playing Anti-Mage or Nature's Prophet or especially Tinker. Those are the kind of heroes that are actually going to TP here or blink here, and you cannot see them. But there are so-called edge wards on the edge of the map where you can actually see them, you know. Just search for a small indentation here. We're going to take this. See? Now you have this. I'm going to TP here. I think there are a little bit more, but I'm just gonna show you 4 of them. Basically, with this method, you can get those guys. Well, you can actually gank them easier, and you can kill them, and you can stop them from. Yep, here it is. The map design is a little bit, well, you can actually see it, you know. It's a little different, the spot where you're supposed to put the word, see? It's like a plain thing or indentation inside the word map. So yeah, those are very useful when you're playing, as I said, Nature's Prophet, Anti-Mage, and especially Tinker, because Tinkers will just TP, like this. They're gonna TP, push, place a couple of March of the Machines, and they're just gonna blink here, TP out. With these wards, you will be able to see them, you know. I'll clear them out. Then, for example, you're playing against a team that picked a jungler, right? Your first thing as a support you will actually be obliged to do is try to block camps. The new patches made Dota 2 very easy for people that haven't played it a lot. So basically, once you press your ward, you will see a square around every single camp, you know, you see? And if you place the ward inside the camp, these creeps will not spawn, you know. Before those updates, you had to watch like tutorials where to place it, but never mind that. The one thing that I want to say is that you will need to try and block at least the smallest camps first, then work your way through. If you block at least one, or well, if you block 2 camps, it's going to be great, you know. You will slow their item timing by a lot. For example, if let's say a Wrath King gets his Hand of Midas or a Nature's Prophet or whatever at like 6, maybe 7 minutes, you will delay it until minute 9, you know. So basically, the blocking wards, they're just intuitive. Just place it inside the box, and you'll block the camp. See. The other thing is, you don't need to place it like I don't know, somewhere inside the tree lines or whatever, because their supports will see that you have it blocked, you have the camp blocked, and basically you're gonna deward no matter where you place it. But if you take out the first 2 camps, that will slow their jungler so much. Another thing that I want to say is that you will be able to place wards basically inside their base. Let's just say you have big lead, but you are having some issues with pushing their base. You need vision, right? Well, it's not that easy, but as I said, it's easier with the new updates. You see this red line? This is basically how far the tower can see. Once you press the 2, you will see that this area over here is free. Just place a ward there, and voila, you're seeing half of their base. Then maybe do the same here. You can see this place over here is free to farm. That's not. Second. Yep. This one, the second one, not the first one. The second one is a better one. As you can see, the tower cannot reach to it by a small margin, but you can actually see half of their map. If you want to like upgrade your vision even more, there was a small thing, but this is just a little bit riskier because you need to actually enter here and place the word here, and you'll basically see the entire base, which is a little bit better. Another thing that I really like to say, by the way, I'm not paying attention to the chat right now because I really wanted to make this as a YouTube video. The best words, well, you can follow these rules that I give you, but they can still have no impact on the game just because the other supports are actually catching you word and dewording and whatever. The best word in the game is the one that doesn't get deworded. For example, if you place a word here, see, it doesn't give you that much information, but it will give you the information about the bounty rune being taken. Or for example, like here. See, maybe here. Oh, I found that one. Here. The thing is, if you place a smart word and have in mind that people will tend, especially in the lower levels, tend to try to deword the higher spots. For example, this is a high spot, right? People will tend to place one sentry here, one sentry here. So the sentry's range is about this. So if you place a word like here, you will see when they try to use the shrine. Like place a word here, you will see when they take the bounty. It's very situational. If you have a lot of players outside the map, then you need to ward their jungle. Another thing that I would really like to say, just a second, is in the start, when you're starting to lane, I really like, especially for the safe lane, for our safe lane right now, I like this word. Why? Because it will give you information of this whole area, if they are like stacking up here, or if there is someone coming from here, also, like, use your common sense, guys. If you have like the first row of towers and you're just starting the game, there is no need for you to go and ward this spot. Why? No one is going there. So like pretend that you're playing like a tower defense game and you're basically going from level 1 or the front row or the first row, then the second row, etc. So basically that would be it. Just play smart. The first thing was ward the high spots, but beware that that's the most oftenly checked and dewarded place, but they will give you a better vision. The second one is very situational, especially when you're playing against Tinker, Anti-Mage, Nature's Prophet, etc. Those were the edge wards that I just showed you. Then you will have the blocking wards that are also situational a bit because of junglers, or maybe if you're playing like Sven or some other carry that wants to stack ancients, you just place a ward here, just block it so they cannot camp it, and you did your job, you did your best, and the final thing was the warding at the base. Once you're breaching the base, you basically have your team set up to go. And for example, if they're playing with a Magnus and he's like standing inside the base trying to catch the perfect RP, then if you have those wards, you will be able to see him come and react accordingly. This is the Gamer Teacher, and that was Warding 101 on the newest patch of Dota 2.